Hello team, today we're going to learn how to make the Tuscan white bean and kale ragu. All right, for starters, we're going to take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and go right into our rondeau. We'll let that come up to heat for just a few seconds over here. And while that's getting hot, we're going to take our fennel, our minced onion, and our rosemary. And we're going to let that cook for about 5-6 minutes, spinning it with a spatula until everything gets tender and translucent, achieving no color. Now again, we're just spinning this around, getting these vegetables translucent in color and tender to touch. Straying away from getting any sort of brown on them whatsoever, and letting the aromatics start to bloom. This is what we're looking for after about those 5 minutes or so. After the kale and onions have finally gotten to a state of translucent, we're going to be adding in our garlic and our crushed red chili flake. Same exact deal. We're just going to take our spatula and gently toast the garlic and the chili flake to further perfume the base of the ragu. After the garlic and the red chili flake have toasted ever so slightly, we're going to take our kale and we're going to hand it in a handful or two at a time. And we're going to spin and lightly saute this until it starts to wilt inside of the rondeau, until we've gotten through all of the kale that we're using for our specific batch size. This happens relatively quickly. So as we start to get about 80% of the way there, which we are already, we're going to add another handful or two. Repeat this process until all of the kale has been cooked down. After all the kale has been added and completely wilted, we should have a rondeau that looks something just like this. Next, at this point, we're going to add our salt and season. We're going to stir that salt into the kale, garlic, fennel, chili flake, and onion, as well as the rosemary. After that's all mixed in together, we are going to be adding our white beans. Very important with the beans that they are strained and rinsed thoroughly. All right, we don't want any residual liquid. This is not supposed to be a soupy kind of consistency. There's going to be a lot of body to it, which we're going to see here in a little bit. We're going to mix all of this together. And then we're going to add our water with our vegetable stock. Now, after we added our liquid, we're going to basically braise the greens and the beans together. All right, we're going to cook the liquid into the actual vegetables and the legumes until they're tender. This whole process in and of itself takes about 6 or 7 minutes. And then after this is all added and incorporated, we're going to come back and we're going to be into the home stretch here with our finishing steps to complete this recipe. Now, after about 6-7 minutes has gone by of cooking the liquid into the kale and the beans, we're going to remove about half a cup of the actual white beans themselves using a slotted spoon. All right, we want to try to avoid picking up any kale if at all possible. Then after we remove these beans, we're going to puree this in a Vitamix and add this back into the batch. All right, so team, we remove the beans from the cooking liquid and mixture over from the rondeau on the line. All right, and we're just simply going to pour that right into the Vitamix. All right, and just very quickly, we're going to throw this thing on and just give it a nice pulse. All right, to accomplish a puree. That's it, very gently. All right, so after we pureed the white beans in the Vitamix, we're simply just going to take that mixture out from the bottom of the mixing cup. All right, and then very simply with our spatula, we're going to mix that puree into the end result, which is going to give this a whole bunch of mouthfeel, texture, and a whole lot more body than we've already started to establish here in the actual braise. Takes a minute to get it all incorporated. All right, and then after we have that all mixed in with everything, the last little bit of liquid that's in this, we're going to wind up cooking it down a little bit more for another 2 minutes or so. And then we're going to be wrapping up and getting this on a sheet tray to cool down. After we've pureed the beans and we've cooked the liquid out, this is what the end result of the white bean ragu should look like just before we're cooling it down. Now, the very last step here is going to be removing the white bean and kale ragu from a rondeau on a parchment-lined sheet tray. We're going to label this, put a time on it as a cooling stamp, and we're going to put it in the walk-in to cool down. After it drops below 40 degrees, we're going to put this in a Cambro, label, date, and rotate, and have it line ready for service. And that, everybody, is the Tuscan white bean and kale ragu.